Where did you get all the material? Is it all from his collection, or?
Every single piece in the exhibit is from Kim's collection. He's one of the rare artists who hangs on to a lot of his work, doesn't break up his stories, doesn't break up his comics, doesn't scatter them to the winds. So he himself is sitting on the ultimate Kim Deitch archive.
Ready to die.
Yeah, this is a weird thing, you know. Before there was reality TV, there was reality comics, you know, and like I actually did. I went to death row and interviewed a guy, you know, like 3 days before his execution, went to the execution, and, you know, did a story about it.
You've certainly blended this style into the work that you've been doing since.
Yeah, well, you know, in a way, Ready to Die was kind of the jumping off place that Alias the Cat came out of, because, like, when I stopped interviewing real people, I kept on doing interviews, except that I was making up the people myself, you know, so.
Yeah, it's great. And then there's some children's stories over here. And a beautiful,
nice.
These lovely movie posters that you do are just out of this world.
Yeah, this was for an event I did last year in Los Angeles for Sammy and Dan Harcum, who own the Silent Movie Theater on Fairfax Avenue and also have a bookstore, Caddy Corner across the street. So, you know, they let me do a film night of silent movie serials, you know, a lot of Pearl White stuff, and I had Houdini's serial playing on a TV monitor where the signing was going on. Boy, that was the best event I ever had. We sold everything. You know, it was kick-ass. Yeah, it was kick-ass.
It looks just like so much fun.
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah.
Now let's talk a little for the kids about your Nickelodeon stuff.
Well, this is for Art Spiegelman's Kids Lid book, which was These Cats Today. These are just the pencil workups. The story was actually in color. And
do you work in this intense detail in your pencils? Clearly,
those are particularly manic. I think I was smoking a little weed when I was doing those, so it got a little more polished. But you know, I like working in pencil, and someday I'd like to do some work in pencil medium. But
technology now is amazing. You don't lose anything.
Yeah, well, I'm still waiting to be shown for sure, but. Yeah, I'm actually going to have 10 pages of pencil in the next issue of Mineshaft magazine, which will be a sequence from the novel that I'm working on. This is probably what you were aiming for.
The Southern Fried Fugitive.
Yeah, I did this strip with my brother for about 3 years in Nickelodeon magazine. And it was sort of weird the way that happened. They paid us, this is a funny story, they paid us to come up with about 3 things to pitch. And I came up with 2 that I really worked hard on. And then we needed a 3rd one. And I wasn't sure what we were going to do. I'd gone over to visit my girlfriend one night and came back, and I was talking to Simon about it. And while we're talking, I rolled up a joint and lit it. And I was going like, yeah, what are we going to do for Nickelodeon? What are we going to do? And I took a drag, you know, and I've got it. Picture this. It's Frankenstein's castle. The monster is strapped down. He's waiting for the lightning bolt that's going to come through this thing and bring it back to life. But he has to go out for something for a second, and so he forgot. So he goes out. While he's gone, the lightning strikes, but he hadn't got it quite focused on the body that he's bringing to life. And so when the lightning strikes, it hits his lunch, which is a box of fried chicken. And my brother's going, oh, what are you talking about? I'm going, no, it's great. And and we'll call it Southern Fried Fugitives. and you know, that's what they went for. Long story
from some places, that's where children's literature often comes from.
It was a big hit too. It was probably the closest thing to an actual hit I ever really had. You know.
Very, very cool. Great story. Let's move on now to Alias the Cat.
That's sort of a stone lithograph movie poster.
Absolutely.
Supposed to be, you know, from the Alias the Cat movie serial.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about it except that, at a certain point, when I was doing a book tour for Boulevard of Broken Dreams, this idea just started coming to me about this Czechoslovakian expatriate who comes from a long line of munitions producers, comes to America to make peaceful fireworks, and when they try to get him involved in munitions of World War I, he rebels, and then they try to suppress him, and so then he becomes this cat character, and also with the money he makes from crime, he starts filming this crackpot serial, and of course it all ends tragically when the cops are on him, when he rides off to his destiny and death.
Yeah.
And it was a story I particularly enjoyed doing just because it allowed me to take a bath in, old movie serials, which is something that, I'm kind of a fan of.
Again, you blended them in. You blended in real serials to make this one seem real as well.
Yeah, and you had a little tutorial on exactly what serials of that kind were within the mag. And
we come back to Waldo again.
Yeah, and there he is in it too, and
kind of drive the cat dolls are sort of drive us into this story.
Yeah, and then you see the beginning of me experimenting with that illustrated fiction because I did have a 13-page interlude in that style, which gave me a chance to get into the head of one of the female characters again. It's weird how I keep wanting to do stuff first person with female characters. I must have been abroad in my last life, I get,
I'm sure you're a creative one. But he's a fully rounded character. She is. Waldo has a full story. You and your search has a full story. It's all becoming richer and deeper. I wanted to, it's got to be believable to me, and it's got to be logical to me. Otherwise, I'm not happy. It's not the right. It's not a fulfilling fantasy for myself, which is, after all, what I'm sort of doing here, just sort of recreating the world in a way that I like. Well, it's your world, your God, so you create it in whatever, the image that you like. Well, that's what's so great about fiction, it's sort of like you're marketing your daydreams, Hopefully, you're bringing them to market and hope there's going to be some buyers. And then the latest one, which literally just came out this week, you bring in the whole family. Yeah. Well, I was just being real impressed by a lot of the work that my two brothers were doing, and it wasn't really because I love my brothers because I like them well enough, but it was because I really related to them creatively, and I really honestly dig the work they do. Yeah. So so tell us what Pictorama is then. And I happen to have Anna. I actually happen to have a copy of Pictorama here. Deitch's Pictorama is an experiment, in that it's not comics per se, but illustrated fiction, which, I don't know, I've just been, experimenting with it, like I just showed you before, in different ways, and I just felt I wanted to take the experiment a little further. In fact, initially, Deitch's Pictorama wasn't necessarily going to be all illustrated fiction, but since my brother Seth doesn't draw, but writes illustrated fiction in the traditional way, we were already dealing with that format in the two stories that he was involved in. And since I was kind of interested in it too, and even my brother Simon, who's a big comics guy, also seemed to want to do that sort of story, I think it comes down to the fact that that is something that's in the air more, and it was certainly in the air within my family, and it just all fell together that way. Well, it's fascinating. We wish you the best of luck with it. Thank you. Deitch's Pictorama is available everywhere. Thank you very much for talking with us. And please come down to MOCCA and visit the exhibit, Kim Deitch, A Retrospective, running through December 5th at 594 Broadway, just below Houston in New York City, New York. For more information, www.moccany.org. Till next time, we'll see you in the funny papers. That's all, folks. Hey, can I get you to sign that? Sure. We thank you. Folks. Hope you buy the book.